NFL draft is over. DraftKings Best Ball is live. There are many, many sweet ADP values for us to scoop up and some difficult things to navigate in these drafts. And we're going to see if we can do it in the very first DraftKings Millie Maker Best Ball draft stream here on Spike Week. Let's do it. Afternoon. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. It's like the week of Christmas, or like, is it the week of Christmas? Is it the week after Christmas? I don't know how to classify this week. It's the best. Best ball tournaments are out there. We're all trying to see what we can get RJ Harvey at, and Trevion Henderson, and Trey Harris, and all these different guys that we love. We're trying to see how much ADP value we can get to make it worth drafting on April 30th to scoop some sweet ADP value and maybe win ourselves $2 million. I saw, we don't have this data on DraftKings, which is, of course, where we're going to be drafting today. The DraftKings Millie Maker $2 million to first place. In Best Ball Mania last year, there was multiple teams drafted on day one, or like the first couple of days, that made the final. So it's a delicate balance of how much to draft now, right? April 30th, early May. How much do we draft now, and how much do we wait for some more information? But clearly, I think we've seen over the years, there is a benefit to both. There's a benefit to drafting early and trying to get as much upside as we can in some prices that are wrong, which is hopefully what we'll do today. And then also, balancing out our portfolio over the course of the entire summer. Really quickly, before we dive into this, if you are not, click subscribe, click like, all that fun stuff, right? If you're not subscribed, if you're not in the Discord, there's still a link there. It's going to be going behind the paywall here very shortly. If you're not subscribed to the Spike Week tools, it is $39.99 a month or $2.99 annually, and you get access to absolutely every single tool, the Draft Hacker, which you will see here today, overlaying on your screen, customizable data. I can even show you my settings if you guys would like to see all the different things that you're seeing on my screen while we're drafting. Draft IQ, our best ball stats, right? ADP stuff, projected ownership, just the myriad of different tools, rankings for every site, right? Underdog, DraftKings, Drafters, Fast Draft, every format, Eliminator, weekly winners, everything. We have rankings for all that. If you want to dabble in some MLB, NBA, all that different stuff, college football, college basketball, if you want to dabble in all that, we got rankings, strategy, content for all of it. One low price, one monthly fee, and the Discord will be included in that monthly subscription. Without further ado, let's rip it. Let's have some fun, right? The full transparency, this is my second DraftKings draft of the year so far. So did one, and DraftKings is always a different beast. And I think this year in particular, as we are full, shout outs to all the folks who got in here. Self, let's see who else. I'm sure that if you're here, Johnny, Self, please feel free. Yes, this also, Huhaim says, if you are playing on DraftKings this year, which I highly recommend, they're having there's a draft one team, get one free. There's a bunch of promos that they're dropping. You can, like, as it's like a ladder, right? As you draft more teams, they give you DraftKings dollars in return. So there's a lot of benefits to drafting over on DraftKings. Tebow's 408 Steeler. Okay, I didn't know your DraftKings username. Shout out. I know Johnny's in there. I know South is in there. If any of you else are here watching, feel free to drop it in the chat. But yeah, some sick promos over on DraftKings that we are going to be definitely taking advantage of this summer. Let's see here. Okay. So you can see my percentages are going to look a little bit funky, because, I've only done one draft, 100% Amon-Ra, 100% Lab McConkey, but we'll keep building on that over the course of the summer. A couple things about DraftKings that I picked up from looking at ADP, and then also from my one whopping draft is, as has been the case typically on DraftKings, you really got to be cognizant of your quarterbacks. I think it's the one main thing on DraftKings to like really look out for. Honestly, if like we talk about, making sure we have enough wide receiver firepower, making sure, we're in putting into practice a lot of these principles in our best ball drafts. And a lot of it applies to the other sites, Underdog and Drafters, where it's so much more efficient. There's if you take 2 running backs early, you may struggle to dig out of that hole. You may dig out of it at wide receiver, but then your tight end room is weak, your quarterback room is weak. On DraftKings, that is just, you don't feel quite that pain on the site, where there's we all have our flavors of who we think those values are, but there's somebody, honestly, at running back and wide receiver for sure. There's somebody that you're gonna be okay with. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pound the table for a whole bunch of early running backs, but we have a lot more flexibility on DraftKings. The spot where we do not have flexibility is what Inkle says here. You got to get your quarterbacks. Now, you don't got to take a quarterback just because you have his stacking partner 2 rounds early. But for instance, you saw in my first draft, I took Amon-Ra St. Brown, and so I took Goff I was at the turn, and I took Goff in that first pick. He was the 12th guy or whatever on in the queue, right, by ADP. He's not up next, but he was the top quarterback available. And so there were some running backs and wide receivers I would have loved to have had there, but I just took Jared Goff. I also had Jameson Williams on the team. And so I wanted Jared Goff. I took Jared Goff, and we didn't get ADP value on Jared Goff, but it's okay. We'll make it up somewhere else. All right. I did Amon-Ra earlier. We're going to do Nico. We're going to do Nico here. I do love, now I'm not sure that it'll work out for me here. But I do love the turn, especially on DraftKings. You can get some fun stuff. Like, I don't think I'm going to get him here, but you never know. Jay Kempool maybe likes these running backs more than I do. But also, if you want to take Christian McCaffrey, take Christian McCaffrey. It's okay. I don't think Christian McCaffrey is a bad pick here. I do love me some Ladd. I do love me some Bowers, London, etc. But the 1-2 turn, man, what a stark difference from last season, where the 1-2 turn felt quite icky. It was not a lot of fun to have to decide between Drake London and Marvin Harrison and all of that. I'm just watching to figure out who this year's. That's funny. I don't know if I have this year's Chuba, but maybe we can try and figure that out. I'm gonna do. You're gonna make fun of me. I'm gonna do Ladd again. I did Ladd with Amon-Ra. Ladd is a guy I really want pretty solid exposure to. So we're just gonna go ahead and start building out our player combinations with Ladd. I have an Amon-Ra Ladd team, and now I have a Nico Ladd team. So let's see where this one goes. Are we being blocked? Are we being brocked like a hurricane at 111? I don't know what that means, Best Ballin'. I'll be totally honest with you. Yeah, amen. South says currently drafting 3 millies at the same time. Thank you to the draft hacker. It really is pretty sweet. It's a big help. Obviously, you can see whatever you want to see over here, but you are going to get correlations and stuff that light up, right? I have drafted Ladd McConkey, Amari and Hampton. Boom, on my screen lighting up. You'll see a bunch of those correlations and such. I see. I got you. Did not register for me, Brock Bowers. Manifesting a Giants and Eagles Week 17 matchup. Let's see what you got going on, Johnny. Oh yeah, little neighbors, AJB. Dude, it really is kind of crazy how strong the first 2 rounds, I think, are just in general stronger. We have an influx of new talent, right, over the last couple of years, whether it's Bijan, Gibbs, Puka, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Ashton Genty, Nico. We have an infusion of new talent that is Brock Bowers, right? Achane, Lab McConkey. That's awesome, but it's also kind of fun the fact that has pushed AJ Brown to like the middle of the second round. I know the Eagles don't pass, right? That all the typical concerns, but AJ Brown is a superstar. He was an absolute superstar last year on a per route, per target, per team pass attempt basis. They just didn't like pass enough. And we've seen historically that sometimes that just comes and goes. It can come and go. They may not pass any more this season, but in one game, right? And maybe it happens to be at the right time. They do pass more. And now AJ Brown gets 15 targets, and AJ Brown with 15 targets is a first round player. And so I just think the strength of the first couple of rounds are really, really good. In particular, at the wide receiver position, I think the wide receiver position is much better than it has been. So I love it. I'm not taking like any mega crazy stands. I will say 1-2 turn Derrick Henry in full PPR is not my cup of tea, as you guys might imagine. I don't totally love Jonathan Taylor on DraftKings, but outside of that, there's not really anybody here I'm like super charged up to fade. I don't love the prices on Bijan and Gibbs, but we're talking about a couple of picks here. I'm not sure that I'm going to have zero of most of these guys. We'll see. We'll see how, this first month or so. That's what I really like to do is just rip some drafts, man. That's what this time is for. You want to seek out the big ADP values, of course. But like, let's just rip some drafts, see how our portfolio starts to come together. You know what I mean? Currently, I got 100% Lab McConkey. We're on pace for 1,000 Lab McConkey teams so far. Huhames prefers Bijan to Saquon. I don't think it's crazy. I mean, I think people are going to call you crazy, but I don't think it's crazy. There's just a pass catching element that is much different. The Falcons now have Michael Penix. It's certainly possible to dream on the fact that Michael Penix actually upgrades the offense like we thought Kirk Cousins would. I don't see a problem. Michael got Hurts Dak yesterday pretty easily. Hurts Dak. I mean, I imagine you can get Hurts Dak pretty easily. Dak's pretty cheap. But you got him like at the right prices. Yeah, you didn't have to do any reaching or anything. Yeah, I get you. That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, he did upgrade the offense, but not like what we thought it was going to be, right? It didn't come in the manner in which we were hoping for. Oof. You guys hit me with a little tear break here at wide receiver. Oh no, you didn't. Rashee Rice, bing bang boom. I put out the very first what we call our core picks, right? So it's like our guys that we think are the best picks on the board at and I update that over like monthly. It's something like that over the course of the season. Again, that comes with a part of your subscription. Like, who are the best picks right now? Because it changes. It's not always, you get a lot of places like old school fantasy, content and stuff is like, we wait till August, we put out here's who our picks are, or we just like don't update our priors, and prices change and things happen over the summer. And like Jordan Mason was not a core pick in May of last year. I didn't think Jordan Mason was going to be a thing last year. And by the time August came around, Jordan Mason was the number one core pick. Like, go get him in all your drafts, price be damned type of a thing. So we put that out over the course of the summer. Again, as I said, that comes with the subscription, and it's out there right now. And Rashee Rice is on there. Rashee Rice is the best early round wide receiver pick, maybe the best wide receiver pick in my opinion. We're getting a nice discount here. I wonder how many teams are doing the Chiefs double there with Worthy, because this is I'm not into Kyron. I don't love Chase Brown. Let's just have some fun with the Chiefs. Let's have some fun with the Chiefs. Yeah, this is true. The Falcons were much better on offense. It was just Darnell Mooney, which hilariously, Darnell Mooney is apparently a guy I like this year after being, out. Terribly wrong. Could not be more wrong, okay, about the Darnell Mooney thing. Just L taken, right? Big fat L. White flag waved. Darnell Mooney was a good pick. But Michael Penix is in there now. They added literally no offensive players. they're running it back with that core, right? London, Mooney, Pitts, Bijan, Algier, Ray McLeod, Casey Washington, whatever. It's the same depth chart at the skill position spots on offense. Last year, you just put Penix in, and like nobody cares about Darnell Mooney. Like these are. Pat Green and I recorded a podcast. If you have not listened to it, it is on this YouTube channel, of course. And I got the podcast feed updated called Best Ball Chaperones. And like Darnell Mooney is just like peak Best Ball chaperone. Like, is he going to be a 4th round pick next year? No, of course not. He's Darnell Mooney. Can he be a really valuable pick past pick 100 in Best Ball? Yeah, absolutely. I was actually mad earlier today when I did my first draft that I got sniped on him. That's how sad it is. Last year, I thought he was a terrible pick, wrong. And I got sniped on him and I was angry. Just recently, today. Yeah, that's funny. Get ready to learn Nick Nash. Yeah, buddy, Nick Nash is older than Kyle Pitts. How about that one? If you knew Rashi was healthy and not suspended, who is the most expensive wide receiver you'd take over him? I'd take him over JSN and after Ladd. I think that's right. Let's see. Let's just use this draft board. After Ladd. Ooh. Over JSN for sure. Over JSN, over T. Higgins, over Devontae, over Marv, over Garrett Wilson. It's in the second round. We can argue about exactly where in the second round it is, but fully healthy, not suspended Rashee Rice is a second round player. I am convinced of it. I don't care what anyone says. You'll never. We're pounding the table stubborn on that one. True. Do love RJ Harvey, though. Inkle says, with the 80 to 110 ADP pocket of wide receivers on DK, it seems more advantageous to start at least hard anchor running back for now. Yeah, I think it's fair. Or like modified zero running back, right? Like you can do some dip in and out of some stuff. I took Caleb Johnson as my RB1. I wanted Harvey or Trevion Henderson on the team I took earlier. And they're like in this range where we're about to be, in the 50s. Like, I think, a traditional zero RB, bro, when you're worried about wide receiver firepower, maybe you want elite quarterbacks. You want, if you want Brock Bowers and you would like Josh Allen and you also want to have wide receiver firepower, typical zero RB room is going to be, you're going to push it a little bit further. On DraftKings and in this draft environment, I think you can do a lot of different things. And I really like, the range that we're kind of in here in this draft, right? I'm not like in love with Chuba Hubbard and Ken Walker, but that seems fine. And then you have Harvey and Henderson, Connor, Montgomery, Caleb Johnson, right? Tony Pollard. I don't love Aaron Jones, but there's like a bunch of names here that they're great picks, on any team, but especially on that kind of a thing, right? Like if you would like to have Bowers and you want to put Lamar on that team, awesome, because you can make up for it a little bit. You don't, you can still get 2 good wide receivers and Lamar and Bowers, and then you can dip into, the running backs from this point on through Pollard, Brian Robinson. If you're into DeAndre Swift and Scattaboo and Pacheco, like Pacheco's the lead back for the Kansas City Chiefs at pick 100 or whatever. Like, it's crazy. All right, we didn't get RJ Harvey earlier. See, I'm probably not going to take Mahomes here. I know somebody's going to say, "What are you got to take Mahomes?" But I just don't think like I can just have my stack without the quarterback, not force Mahomes, get one of these studs here, and come back for some other quarterback stacks. There ain't nothing wrong with having Rashee Rice. Yeah, see, boom. Get my 2 rookie running backs. This is fun. I'm into this start. Nico Collins, Ladd McConkey, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, RJ Harvey, Trevion Henderson. Yeah, I like this team better than the other one. No, my other team I drafted was fine. I can pull it up when we're done, but this is more fun. This is more fun. This is true. Got him by 6 months. You can go to 140, Robert Griffin the Turd. You can go to 140 at wide receiver and not feel awful. I agree. And you know me, like, if this is your first time listening to me and the Spike, like, I'm a wide receiver bro. I'm very strict on the kinds of wide receivers I draft. I'm more of a zero running back bro, right? I'm more of a youth bro, all that kind of stuff. But I do feel on DraftKings specifically, I do feel like there is a little bit more value. That's why, right? Like, I mean, 2 running backs through round 6 with 4 wide receivers. I like some tight ends there, like a little bit later. I think that the quarterback, we talked about the quarterback thing in the sense of needing to make sure you get your quarterbacks and not worrying too much about price. And that's part of it. But also, like, let's just look at the quarterback thing real quick. Obviously, Mahomes is still on the board, but from pick 73 on, Baker, Bo Nix, Jared Goff, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, Justin Fields, Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence, JJ McCarthy. Like, I like all these guys. Tua, whatever. Cam Ward, Michael Penix, we were just talking about. I don't totally love Matthew Stafford, but on DraftKings, it feels a little bit better. Geno, I like. Bryce Young seems fine. Darnold, but this is where, like, honestly, Bryce is like kind of the cutoff before you start to get into, I'm a little queasy now. Darnold, Richards, you get into, are these guys going to play all year? How much are they going to play? Are they any good? Darnold, Richardson, Dart, right? Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, the Browns guys, Shug, like, it's bad. It's bad after that. And so that's it. Like, that's the number one thing for me keeping in mind when I go into the DK drafts, when I go into any draft, but on DK when you combine the quarterback thirst, you combine the randomness in which people draft quarterbacks, you can't count on anybody in a DraftKings room to you have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. You can't count on them to pass on Jared Goff, even though it doesn't make sense for their team. So, like, I know that there's at Bryce Young, pick 150, it falls off a cliff. Once I know that, like, and I know how the DK drafts go with quarterbacks, like, that's the number one big thing that I always need to make sure I'm thinking about. Yeah, see, this is fun. Hampton, Henderson, Caleb, Harvey, Scattaboo, Tootin. There's so many good rookie running backs, and they'll just never get so expensive now, right, through May or something like that. Once we get to camp, and it's like, no, RJ Harvey is the starting running back for the Denver Broncos. We love, right? Sean Payton is raving about him. We love him. We love him. Once you get to that point, then maybe things will change a little bit. But I do also really like Tony Pollard. As you see, I took Tony Pollard on that other team. I feel like, remember a couple of years ago, his last year on the Cowboys, Tony Pollard was a 2-3 turn pick. And even at the 2-3 turn, people were like, he seems really underpriced, right? And now, after a pretty solid year on an absolute dumpster fire Tennessee Titans team, now they have Cam Ward. They've upgraded the offense significantly around him. We know he catches passes for DraftKings. I'm pretty in. I'm pretty in. We are in a goofy wide receiver range. You know what I'm going to do? Because I know what's going to happen here. I know it's crazy. But I just took Trey Harris for anybody that doesn't know. Agree. Huhames, Pollard, 100% misprice. Agreed. Shuby, big slappy, 2-round reach on Trey Harris. But I'm doing this because of my sample size of 1 draft and knowing that you assholes are in this draft with me and know that he's my favorite player. His ADP shows on DraftKings as 119. He's not going to last to 119 in this draft. The next time I come up on the clock is 107. In my last draft that I was in, not with a bunch of slappies, not with a bunch of us Trey Harris idiots, he went in the late 90s. So you know what? It's my first Millie draft. We're getting our fucking guys, okay? And Trey Harris is my guy. It also doesn't hurt that I have Lad McConkey on this team. So I don't want to hear it. Terrible ADP value. Can you imagine? This team's dead. You took Trey Harris at 86? Dead. Stone cold dead. Just log out. Ask DraftKings to donate your $20 to your local animal shelter. See? Jonathan says he considered taking Trey at 80 just to do it. It reminds me of, and what a terrible, I shouldn't even put this out there in the world because it's going to turn Trey Harris into a bust. But I remember during the big board season last year, so not this big board. Last year, I was the Malik Washington guy, right? That was my favorite rookie wide receiver, at least at cost. Of course, Neighbors and those guys were my actual favorites. Neighbors and Ladd and Marv. And I literally had like very little Malik Washington because I streamed a bunch of my drafts, and everybody, all you dickholes, took him from me. So we're getting Trey Harris. Okay. What's the bulliest of Trey Harris bull cases? He was the most productive wide receiver in this class, most efficient wide receiver in this class. He is a big-bodied, big play threat who also is elite after the catch with the ball in his hands. I almost just said in San Francisco. In LA with the Chargers, he is going to be asked to do exactly the skill that he has, which is go win one-on-one on the outside, whether it be contested catch, down the field, yak. He's not going to have to be the focal point of the offense. They have Lad McConkey for that. They have a good running game with Hampton and with Hampton. I don't know about with Najee. They have a good offensive line, and they have one of the better quarterbacks in the league. They have a good coaching staff. He had basically the most efficient wide receiver season of all time, and he was a elite efficiency the year before. He has missed some games. If he had played every single game, I don't think people would be, as worried about him as they are, despite he's like an imperfect player. But like, who isn't? Jackson Smith and Jigba's an imperfect player. We're taking him in the second fucking round now, right? Like Ladd is not a perfect player. He's awesome, but he's not perfect. And I think we focus in on the warts very frequently, and the bull case can win out just as much as the warts can win out. So I love him. Yeah, like it was almost 5.2 yards per route run. Think about that. That's insanity. 5 yards for every route you run. Bonkers. This is beautiful. Herbert comes back. We definitely take Justin Herbert. Now I need to actually look. I don't think I have a tight end, right? Nope. So we're at 1-3-5-0 so far, and I need to keep my 100% wins. Like stone cold lock wins the Bolitnikoff if he stays healthy. Not even a fucking question. His numbers would have been, if people are like excited about Travis Hunter and T-Max numbers, what Trey Harris would have done if he didn't get hurt is nuts, dude. It's truly nuts. Let's go ahead and take Stroud. So Stroud, Nico, Herbert, Ladd, Trey Harris. That's fun. I know our boy Hacker, CTO of Spike Week, big best ball sicko, is in on Stroud. Yeah, this is true. I should let's show that off. Thank you for bringing that up, Who Hames. If you see over here, you can do the team grid, and you can see like much cleaner what this all looks like and if these guys are correlated, right? So Herbert is correlated with Ladd and Trey. Rashid is, I have yellow for like secondary correlations, right? So green is with my quarterback and yellow is with a non-quarterback. Obviously, these guys are not correlated, but it's much easier to see in that view. I agree. Go back to the draft board. But like that was the Herbert Stroud double tap there is like kind of factoring in everything we talked about with DraftKings. I know from round 11 on, there's still a bunch of guys I like at all positions. Now I only got to take 2 quarterbacks for me personally. Only got to take 2 quarterbacks. I don't got to deal. They're correlated. I don't got to deal with, I'm getting to pick one, right? My next pick is 131. The pick after that is 134. And then at 155, all the good ones are gone. So then my feet are to the fire the next time I come up. You're also like, there might be a run on quarter. Obviously, there has not yet been a run on those quarterbacks, a tight end run. Loveland, Warren, Ingram, and Njoku in a row with back-to-back rookie wide receivers, Jack Besh and Luther Burden. But like, I'm just not that concerned about a handful of picks of CJ Stroud ADP value. I got Nico. We're good. As the kids might say, we're Gucci. Can someone explain Dallas Goddard at 137? He seems like a smash. Yeah, I actually don't even know where I have Dallas Goddard ranked. Let's see. Ooh, that's underdog. Yeah, so I kind of have him around there, but I'm open. I'm open to it. He just wasn't. Yeah, like, I love the Raiders as much as anybody, but this Bears stuff is crazy. Luther Burden at 118, Colston Loveland at 113. Where did DJ Moore go? DJ Moore picked 34, and Rome Odunze. Where's Rome? Where the hell is Rome? At pick 63. Like, are we just not excited about the Bears anymore? Like, someone's going to fail. Probably multiple players are going to fail on the Bears. We do this every single season. But in order for people to fail, either the offense needs to be a disaster, which means why are we drafting any of these guys? Or someone else hits, right? It doesn't work out like every single time we think about it through the lens of how can they all pay off their ADP value? It's like they can't. They won't. But someone will. We're drafting them because someone, right? If DJ Moore is the DJ Moore we've known for many years and is now the number 1 on a Ben Johnson offense, right? He's playing hard now. Like he's not the wide receiver 20 or whatever. Like he's not. If Rome Odunze is the prospect who some people think that he is, and he's and this offense takes a leap, he's not the 63rd overall pick, right? Luther, like someone here's hitting. And if someone doesn't hit, then Caleb stinks. And I never hear that as the argument for any of the Bears stuff. Or Ben Johnson is a fraud, right? Ben Johnson was a Dan Campbell merchant, which I don't think is true, obviously. Give me all the Bears. Just give me. I don't know who it's going to be, but I know that if the Bears are good, there's mega hits here. And I just don't care to spend the time worrying about who it's going to be. We don't know. Oh, DJ Moore's not playing hard. Oh, Rome sucked as a rookie. Luther Burden sucked his last year in college. Like, it's just not that interesting to me. I think I have plenty of edges, which I should have started to map out before I got on the clock here. I do like Ramondre. No, I have Trevion. Shoot. Let's do Likely. I'm going to try to get a nice healthy bag of Isaiah Likely. What a terrible... I had like 9% Likely last year. What an idiot. Like there's still outs to Andrews getting... Where do you think Isaiah Likely would go if Andrews does like get shipped out or cut? Oh, that does make Bateman kind of interesting. Get a little secondary Ravens. I'm not gonna like take a ton of Bateman. Shoot. Sorry, Bateman. We're sticking with Jake Ferguson. The Ferg price is crazy. Again, to the core picks that I just posted yesterday. Ridiculous. Jake Ferguson, ridiculous. What are we doing? Dude's going in like the 70s and the 80s last year. They did nothing on offense. Okay, he was overpriced then. Now we knock him down like 5 rounds. Yeah, they might, but like I just don't really care that the price is the price right now. You either get them on teams that, right? Think about it this way. Our goal is to find the mega smashes that are like wildly mispriced, right? So let's say later in the summer, RJ Harvey is an absolute smash. If you like the Bears now, but you think that they're going to fall, now that means you're never going to have the Bears with RJ Harvey, right? Or you think Trevion Henderson is terribly priced, or Trey Harris. Trey Harris and Rashee Rice are terribly priced. They're gonna. You think those are the guys I'm drafting for right now. But you also think the Bears might fall a little bit. But you like the Bears. And like you want to have Bears on your teams. If you wait, you're never going to get the combination of that insane Trey Harris value, that insane Rashee Rice value, plus Bears. You just lock the Bears out of those teams, which then means right now you've got Bronco, right? You only got Broncos with Rashee Rice. You only got Patriots with Rashee Rice at the best price. And so I don't think it's wrong to say the Bears are going to fall a little bit. There's this coordinated fucking FUD attack on the Bears for whatever reason. Everybody's got a different guy they like. Some do like DJ Moore, some like Rome, some like Loveland, some like Burden, some like Olamide Zacchaeus. I don't know. Like there's this coordinated attack, but everybody has their guy that they like. And it's just like, if they're good, give me those guys. I'm not going to lock myself out of them, even though I do agree that they probably fall a little bit. Yeah, 7th. Let's see who is like the 7th round tight end. Yeah, Hawk, Kelsey. I mean, what? Like, why isn't he like Sam Laporta or whatever? If there's, again, the question was if there's no Andrews. I think he goes higher than where Andrews goes now, around pick 100 on DraftKings. I think he goes higher. Just like proven good football player, proven elite offense, and we remove like the one obstacle that's blocking him from being a fantasy superstar. They didn't add anything in the passing game. DeAndre Hopkins. Like, who cares about him? I think it's fair. Probably correct. The corpse of Travis Kelce. Yeah, by Hawk. I agree with this. If Goddard, I do think, like, you've made me think about it, because I went and looked at my ranking and I'm just like, I don't know why he's, the rankings come together in funny ways. It's not always like you don't take every single player and you go, you absolutely have to go right here. It's like it's a little bit of art, right? Because you can't just put every single guy. Somebody has to go at, in certain spots. And there's positional stuff and whatever. And when you're as high on Will Shipley and those guys as I am, Will Shipley and Algier and all these running backs, there has to be a sacrificial lamb, and maybe Goddard is one of those. But I'm going to take a look at it because I think it's a fair point. Yeah, so far so good. We're batting 1,000 on avoiding the tumbling Najee auto pick. Eddie, we are not going to draft another one after this, but that's because if you are in the Spike Week Discord every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, so in an hour and 18 minutes, we do what we call the lab, which is within the Discord. Everybody shows up. We hang out for a Zoom, like a little Zoom meeting. And instead of, being live on YouTube where I have to sit here and talk to you guys without the back and forth, it's like we're all hanging out at the bar or in somebody's basement or somebody's house. We're having a little house party on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern. There's a link to the Discord in the description. And we just talk ball. We just talk some shop. The Jaden Blue price is also ridiculous. Now that I'm back on the clock, I just wanted to make that known. How many? What do I have here? 135. Oh, 2352. Hell yeah. We're cooking. Ray Davis time. So 2452. This team rocks. That's hilarious. You're going to prevent me from having all the Shipley. Did you take them? Oh, let me cue somebody first. Did you take Shipley, Johnny? You're such a motherfucker. He's such a good pick. He's such a good pick. See the quarterback spiel earlier. I want to avoid that feeling of if I don't get Bryce Young, I'm going to be mad. I know you can't help it sometimes, right? It happens. But that's what I'm trying to avoid, that feeling as much as humanly possible. This damn board is not cooperating. But like, dude, I understand the thesis behind Jaden Blue, but like a guy who this is like some combination of Deuce Vaughn, Kamani Vidal, and Roshan Johnson, right? He like has a piece of all of those. He's like the perfect combination between all of those things. Deuce Vaughn, small college running back on the Cowboys. Kamani Vidal, where we boost this guy way up because, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins stink, right? And 3, Roshan, because he went to Texas and never actually got to play that much because he was worse than the other guys that Texas had. We had the excuse with Roshan that he was behind Bijan, like an incredible running back prospect. Jaden Blue this year was going to be behind seemingly the 1B back to CJ Baxter. Okay. Sophomore Texas, like supposed to be workhorse guy from Texas. Baxter tears his ACL in camp, doesn't play a game. Jaden Blue gets lapped by what's his name? Wisner. Wisner becomes the workhorse. Jaden Blue's like barely playing. And then they start rotating another freshman, true freshman. Wisner's a true freshman. They bring another true freshman in to start getting carries. Blue like pops in and out, right? He's just like this gadgety player. He's like 190, what is he? 195 pounds, 190 pounds. Like he's really explosive. He runs, 4.340. He's got juice. He's just not like, we're doing this again where we're like, we hate Javonte and we hate Miles Sanders. So let's put this next guy up into the 150s. Will Shipley is the backup to Saquon Barkley. And it was a 3rd round pick, not a 7th or whatever. It was a 3rd round pick. The team, he produced in small doses last year, including the playoffs. The team was confident enough in Will Shipley to not draft another running back and let Kenny Gainwell walk. And we're like, nope, Jaden Blue, baby. I don't care that he couldn't do it at Texas. I don't care that he was never even the 3rd best back, exaggeration, hyperbole. But it's just wild. And I don't even think Jaden Blue is like a bad pick in a vacuum. I think the fact that he's on April 30th going 160th overall in front of Tyler like Tyler Algier, Dylan Sampson, Braylon Allen, Jalen Wright, Will Shipley, Woody Marks, like all of these guys go behind him, and like all because of our hatred for Javonte Williams. It's wild. That's funny. Jaden Blue reminds me a bit of a former Cowboy Felix Jones. Felix Jones was drafted before Mendenhall, Chris Johnson, and Matt Forte. And how did Felix Jones go? Go ahead and look that one up. Also, this DeAndre Hopkins price is ridiculous. Okay. Likely for, so we got, this is a balanced ass team. Man. You guys are going to make fun of me. I legit think Josh Palmer is underpriced. I'm not going to elaborate on it. Don't ask me. Don't ask me why, because I don't want to talk about it. But I'm going to pick him multiple times this summer, actually. And I'm not going to be mad about it. Don't ask me if I'm mad. I'm not mad. Don't ask me. I am going to make this a 3 tight end team. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do Hunter Henry or what I'm going to do here. I see this is streaming the draft is always. Ooh. I need me a little more Justice Hill this year than I had last year. I know people like Keaton Mitchell. I don't agree. But RJ Harvey, Trevion Henderson, Tony Pollard, Ray Davis, Tyler Algier, and Justice Hill. So we're at a little 2-6-6-2 so far. Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, those 6 running backs that I just read off. Nico Collins, Lab McConkey, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Trey Harris, and Josh Palmer. What a great chaperone. This dude's a chaperone on this team. Trey Harris, we'll see. I'm the most bullish Trey Harris slappy of all time. But Rashee Rice, right? We'll see. Get a little chaperone action. Justice, chaperone. Tony Pollard, chaperone. Pollard's better than that. I don't really mean it that way, but got a bunch of rookies and some kind of upside swings, right? Ray Davis and Tyler Algier. This is a good team. Dare I say, fun team. Many people are saying it's a fun team. I do like Chig. I can't believe the Gunnar Helm draft pick. Just Gunnar Helm stinks. So I do like Chig. Look at this. Josh Palmer is the perfect chaperone. This is exactly how I feel. Josh Palmer is the perfect chaperone. Josh Palmer is underpriced. And Josh Palmer is sadly a good price. It doesn't feel good. You're not happy about it. Like I said, don't ask me if I'm mad about it. But we got to let go of our biases. My bias has gotten in the way plenty of times, including Darnell Mooney and Adam Thielen, and we're not doing it again. Growth. It only took me, I turned 37 in May. It only took me till age 37 to grow as a player take bro. But you and me both, Benny. I've drafted a lot worse garbage than Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer on the Bills, mind you, with Keon and Khalil Shakir and Dalton Kincaid, like in a crazy twist of events, Mac Hollins being gone, obviously Amari's gone. Mac Hollins being gone is like a thing. It's like Josh Palmer's gonna play, dude. Like it's like the Mooney thing at a cheaper price, and he's not as good as Mooney, but he showed upside with the Chargers, at least Mike Williams would get hurt, Keenan would get hurt. He's not gonna, win you all the money all season, but can he be useful? Yeah, he's done it before. Now he's playing with Josh Allen with possibly no other. Well, Khalil Shakir is good in what he does, but so the best other pass catcher is Khalil Shakir on an offense with Josh Allen, and the defense might not be very good. I'm gonna be pretty overweight on Josh Palmer, and just stop asking me about it. This is true. Just the one Amari 14 target game. Yeah, I don't know. Imagine wasting the prime of Josh Allen. Imagine being an NFL team and wasting the prime of Josh Allen, making him do Herculean things, godlike things, only to lose to the Chiefs in the fucking playoffs every single year because you don't do anything to give him weapons. You also play call like a 90-year-old. The fucking Bills, man. Okay, we're back on the clock. This is where you really should. The Tank Dell ADP is one of the funniest I've ever seen. But this is when you really need to get better about doing your Q. I love me some Pat Bryant. Where am I at? 2672. Yeah, we're gonna. Let me think about this. I actually like. I'm again. Don't ask me if I'm mad. I definitely watch Bills games. Thank you, though. Is your take that the wide receivers are good on the Bills? Because they're not. So it is kind of funny because the last time somebody asked me if I watched tape about the Bills was when I said, "Oh, who took Fannin?" Was when I said that Keon Coleman stinks. And so, let's get a little Jarquez Hunter in our life. Yeah, Nash went to the Falcons UDFA. My take is they score a lot of points. They just aren't good for fantasy. Yeah, agreed. I'm with you. The Bills' offense is good because they have Josh Allen. But they haven't done enough to maximize Josh Allen, right? There's a reason why. Give Josh Allen absolutely anything at wide receiver since Diggs, right? And frankly, even like Gabe Davis ran every single route. And if you guys have watched me, I have a soft spot in my heart for Gabe Davis in a terrible, terrible way. Very negatively impacted my bank account. But like outside of Stephon Diggs, they've done they were playing Cole Beasley. They drafted Dalton Kincaid. How's that working? They drafted Keon Coleman. Not great. Brought in Amari Cooper. Terrible. Right? Matt Collins was playing every single snap because of course the vibes, but also because the other guys suck. Curtis Samuel. Right? I actually don't hate the process behind Curtis Samuel, but that was wrong. Curtis Samuel sucked. These guys stink. And you can't whiff on all of them with Josh Allen in his prime. That's how you have this Milwaukee Bucks situation where at least they got a championship. But now it's time to tear it down because you built a shitty ass team around Giannis for half a decade. But was it an outlier result? When you trade in season, when you trade for old wide receivers, this is the risk. Look at DeAndre Hopkins. You can't rely on mid-season trades of old, becoming washed wide receivers. Was it as bad? Could it have been better? Definitely. But you just can't put yourself in the spot where Amari Cooper has to be the savior being traded mid-season. They drafted Keon Coleman. They could have figured out how to get Lab McConkey. Right? Or move up for BTJ or whatever. They've just been bad at the players they decided to spend money on. Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid. Just bad. Yeah, I like Shakir, actually. Shakir was a great pick. But that's the best skill, that's it. I mean, I think 5 for 60 is tougher to get in the NFL than you do. Especially when you don't throw. Right? They also don't really like to throw. They're a very run-heavy team. Another issue. Right? That was the play calling I was talking about. When you don't pass and Josh Allen is your team, and then you expect in the playoffs for him to put everybody on his shoulders and carry you back, it's tough when you're playing Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, right? They should have lost to the Raiders or the Ravens. Mark Andrews dropped that ball. Stop. Right. Josh rocks. Josh Allen won MVP because it's the most valuable player award. And he's so valuable to his team because the rest of his offensive teammates suck ass. That's what value means. All right, round 19. Enough of the Bills. I'm just mad because Josh Allen, it could have been so good. Could have been so good. Okay, we gotta go to wide receiver here and find something. This is why you set cues. shit. Oh, well, I've already drafted Tesla, but we're going back to Tesla. Right, but I'm saying they want to win a Super Bowl, but they didn't because of these mistakes. You need to throw to win Super Bowls. Unless you are the fucking Eagles with the best offensive line in the league, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. I know they don't want to win fantasy, but they're not winning the Super Bowl either because of those mistakes. If they were the Eagles, cool. I would hat tip them. But they aren't, and they didn't. Oh yeah, I wanted a third tight end, and this is not great. Higbee, Arroyo. Disley time. I'm so torn on this one, but we're gonna roll Will Dissly. Right now, I think it's Will Dissly as the tight end. It hasn't been. The defense has not been Swiss cheese. But enough about the Bills. Let's run down. We'll let everybody finish their picks in this draft. It's like this turned into somebody else's YouTube stream. 20 minutes of Bills talk. Yeah. I really definitely would have taken Dante Thornton, who was not a guy I thought I was going to be drafting. Holy cow. Not a guy I was ever considering during the pre-draft cycle. He's kind of intriguing, though, I will say, for Dante Thornton. He's in this late round mix for me. I took freaking Tesla because he's on the Lions. But I like this. I like how this worked out, actually. I'm punting tight end a little bit more than maybe I expected. And so, I'm doing a little bit more 3 on DraftKings. It's unclear on Underdog how much 3 tight end I will do. I still don't really like 3 quarterback. I don't like 6 onesies, but I'm okay with 5, especially with the way things have been shaking out now. I'm not like I'm going to do Bowers and McBride and probably a little bit of Kittle. And then it's going to be a lot of like cheap, like maybe the tight end 1, right, is likely, or Kraft or Ferg or something like that. And getting into all these guys, Ertz and Strange and Gesicki. I really like Gesicki. Right, Fannin, Hunter Henry, Chig. I like all these guys. Taysom, that's a non-starter. But I think there's a bunch of different options amongst cheap tight ends that I'm going to cycle through. And that's another way to look at this last round. Roshan, Jermaine Burton, Ollie Gordon. Martin's been taking a lot of Colston Loveland. I drafted Colston Loveland on my first DraftKings team. I like Colston Loveland. We like the Bears. We also like top 10 picks in the first round. That's good. So what's the deal with this dude, Dante Foreman? Yeah, Tennessee wide receiver, kind of like rotational wide receiver, but was really efficient, actually. Really efficient. Hold on, I can even pull up his PFF page just super duper quickly, just so I'm citing it correctly. Oh shoot, that is all right. Let's go to college, go to receiving. So 3.72 yards per route run in 2024, 2.6 the year prior. He was at Oregon for 2 years, 2.16 and 2.27. So even as a freshman at Oregon, it's not amazing, but it's not bad. There's not a lot, and there are very few routes in those first 2 seasons. So, whatever. But it's just like the sample is so small, and he was a deep threat at Tennessee. But he's real fast, and he ran 178 routes and 86 routes. And as a sophomore, he ran 168 routes, only had 24 targets, and still had over 2 yards per route run. He's catching bombs, baby. He's a deep threat, and Trey Tucker stinks, right? So he's filling the Trey Tucker spot, and they drafted him in the 4th round. I'm not excited because I just don't think you have 94 career targets and are good in college, but there is reason to believe, particularly from this past season, that he can be a real deep threat. I think there's reason to believe that he can be a real deep threat. And so when you get to be on one side, and then there's Jacoby Myers, and then there's Jack Besh on the other side, and there's Brock Bowers. Like, they ain't doubling Dante Thornton. You know what I mean? And Trey Tucker ran like the 5th most routes in the NFL last year. Different team, right? Different regime and all that kind of stuff. But just think about Pete Carroll, and Geno's there now. Like, I don't know. I think he's like a very reasonable last round pick or 19th round pick, 18th round pick on Underdog. I think he's like kind of a genuinely good pick. So let me run down my team really quick, and then we'll get out of here. Picking out of the 111, Nico Collins. I can't believe Nico is like sometimes going in the second round. Like, what the somebody asked somebody said, I don't think you watched the Bills games. And yeah, I don't think anybody watched Nico Collins games. That's crazy. Nico Collins, Ladd McConkey, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. So we double tapped some Chiefs. And then we came to our running backs, right? Like we talked about at the top, you can deviate away from wide receiver firepower just so much easier on DraftKings. RJ Harvey, Trevion Henderson, Tony Pollard. Reached on my boy Trey Harris because I'm not letting you assholes get him in every single draft that I do. I'm trying to build a bag. Justin Herbert to stack with Ladd, and Trey Harris, CJ Stroud to stack with Nico Collins. Avoid the quarterback just absolute avalanche that happens from rounds 8 to 12. Then we come to tight end, Isaiah Likely and Jake Ferguson. Come back to some running backs, Ray Davis, Tyler Algier, Josh Palmer. We talked about him during that time, that pick. Don't ask me if I'm mad about liking Josh Palmer. Justice Hill, kind of the chaperone of the running back room, going to catch some passes. Pat Bryant, 3rd round pick for the Denver Broncos in the 17th round. Jarquez Hunter, the Rams love him. Blake Corum didn't show me anything. I'm down to take some shots on Jarquez Hunter. Isaac Tesla, it's not Tesla, unfortunately. It's Tesla for the Lions, who they clearly love. I don't know much of what there is to love, but I trust in the Lions, and Will Dissly as a 3rd tight end to round out the team in round 20. I mentioned earlier that I'm not going to do another draft right now. I'm going to go try to walk the dogs really quickly, but that's because at 6 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday in the Spike Week Discord, which of course there is a link, you can join us in what we call the lab, where we hang out. All the sickos are talking about their drafts and player takes and strategy ideas, and we dig deep on everything. If you have a question, if you would just like to lurk and hang out and listen, if you want to pop in, you want to give some takes, you want to ask questions, that's what it's there for. We're brainstorming, we're hanging out, we're having a good time every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. But I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get these dogs for a little walk before the lab and before my Blues hit to game 5 in Winnipeg and hopefully take a 3-2 lead in the first round of the playoffs. Go Blues. Good luck in your best ball drafts. And we'll be having a whole bunch more streams here for the next 4 months. We're in it. We're deep in it. We're deep in draft season. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.